Hello Scorpio, welcome to my channel. This is going to be your forecast for 2024. So the way I will be doing it is I will be spreading out cards for each month of the year, which means that you can return back to this video at different points of the year and see where you're at and what to expect coming forward. If you subscribe to this, then I will be posting reminders each month and you can click on it rather than going through your history. Alright, so we're going to be doing that. Then we're going to get a theme for the year. We'll get a message from Spirit for the year, some advice, and we will also do a cross of truth to tell me kind of where you're at, what you desire for the year, what's working in your favor, the challenge and the outcome. So let us get a theme for 2024, Scorpio. Now, please remember that energies are non-gender specific. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Ooh, right, I have to take those because they jumped out. We've got two themes for you, and they do work hand in hand, very much so. We've got healing, chaos, and transformation, and we've got those butterflies that are showing up. Butterflies represent transformation as well. It talks about moving, metamorphosizing from one structure into another. So you are going to be feeling moments of chaos, but know that it has healing qualities to it. There's a kind of purity, a purification that's taking place within this, and a blossoming out of this energy. So there will be moments of turmoil, but ultimately we've got a lot of, this will be kind of like the death card. So seasons coming to an end. And so often when a season comes to an end, it needs to kind of go a little erratic and all over the show before something beautiful can be birthed out of it. And the symbol of butterfly is that which is birthing wings and spreading wings to fly. Okay, so there's going to be a beautiful transformation, metamorphosis, all of that that's happening for you in 2024, but it may feel a little rough at times. So I'm going to do a card for each month of the year now, okay? And oh, can't show these. What's going on here? And if you just bear with me while I lay them all out and the cross of truth, and then we will begin. All right. It's ultimately, you're going to come at the end of next year, of 2024, and you're going to be so delighted with the changes that took place. But you may find that at points in the year, you'll be like, I can't see the wood for the trees. It may feel a little bit hidden from you, a bit all over the place, okay? But by the end of the year, you're going to be like, I'm so glad those things happened. Okay. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, Scorpio. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a bit of a, it's going to stretch you this year. Definitely stretch you. Okay, let's just get the cross of truth first, and then I'll go into it. Scorpio for 2024. You're going to feel very self-empowered by the end of the year, that's for sure. But you're working through a few either karmic cycles, ancestral chains, ancestral patterns, maybe even stuff from previous lives that are still making its way as the theme in your life. You're kind of like treating, it's like you're spending a full year concentrating on a whole bunch of stuff, and like 2024 is a year to do it. You're like, you know what, I'm gonna sort it all out within a year. Wow. Okay, bear with me. Okay, where you're at, the desire, in your favor, the challenge and the outcome. That's funny because the King of Pentacles had dropped out before, and I wondered whether it would come out again, but it came out again as the outcome for the year. So as I said before, you're going to be very pleased with yourself by the end of the year, but you've got quite a journey to get through. Now, starting off in January, we do have the Five of Wands. Now, Five of Wands talks about conflict, but it's also coming up in the area of what's working in your favor. Okay, so we do have this environment around you in January where it feels like people want different things. This could be your family, this could be your friends, your work colleagues, and it's like even though you're all connected to the same trunk, meaning often the trees for me represent family, you know, your family tree, things that are rooted into the ground. Even though you're all connected in the same thing, you're branching off in different directions. That could also display itself in the workplace because it is one's energy, which talks about work, essentially, the things that you go off and do. So again, you may be feeling a little kind of discordance with the work that you're doing, the work that you want to do. Perhaps your working environment is not very on the same page, and they all want the same thing ultimately: success, happiness, wealth, all of that, right? But and even within family or family unit or friend circle, but it seems to me that people got very different ideas, okay, and you're trying your best to pull them all together and kind of appease them all. And I would say that that's not really your job. Okay, I think it's important to recognize where people are at, but then also to equally honor your own vision of what the thing you want is. So there could be a little bit of turmoil, perhaps even in the workplace, a little bit of gossip, a little bit of kind of backstabbing, that kind of energy. Know that it's just because that everyone, what this feels like to me is it's like a reflection of the macrocosm at large on the globe at the moment, where things are very disjointed and people are finding kind of holding on for dear life to what they've got, particularly when shifts are taking place within certain structures or organizations, finances, all of that sort of stuff. And it may have the tendency to feel like people are just out for themselves, okay? And that's internal conflict that you may be experiencing within. The best way to go about this would be to recognize that everyone's on their own path, okay? And that you're still connected together by that trunk, by that tree, by the roots, okay? There is still connection, so every person's point of view is valid, including yours, okay? Because I have the sense that this is like you're trying to keep the peace, pacify different representations, different presentations, different ways, and you can see it all. As long as you don't do it to the detriment of your own is very important as well. Do not sacrifice your own vision as well, okay? And know that ultimately you're connected and the love is there, all right? The connection is there, right? As you move into February, it kind of feels like it dips into a different energy, which is causing a bit of heartache, okay? So this sort of inner conflict that you've been feeling or seeing based on your environment, we've got the Three of Swords over here, which talks about kind of sadness. And in this particular card, she is slicing onions to essentially mask her tears, because she just wants to kind of crawl up in a ball and hibernate for a bit and just do some healing. But it's like you're putting on a brave face in February, and it could be to do with this energy where other people around you, and this would be close connections, other people around you have all got vastly different ideas than you have, and you're trying to keep a brave face on, okay? So you may be handling this throughout the month of January, but then February, it's like you start to recognize, well, what about my vision? Are people seeing me? And so you're putting on a brave face, feeling like, pretending like everything's all right, but actually deep down there's something that is actually quite cutting to you. It feels like it's connected into, like, people's words have been a little bit off, have just been a bit cutting, and you pretending like it's fine, but deep down it is actually cutting to the core of your layers, right? In some degrees you may be feeling quite, maybe even heartbroken to a degree, because there is, usually if people go through healings, right, and there are many layers to us, right, to our personalities, usually we go for the outer layer first, we peel that away, or deal with that, you know, and it's all kind of in moderation, and then you go through the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. But there's something in February that really cuts to your core. It just slices through all of that, and it's painful. I would say it's painful. Now the guidance around this would be to understand that it is healing chaos. It may feel like you don't know where you sit within it. It's all over the place, okay? But know that at a deep level, it is actually healing, because it's bringing something to light that you need to recognize. And you can no longer put a brave face on anymore. You have to honor what it is that you feel and how you think about a particular situation, okay? Don't worry, the year gets better, okay? But it is a bit of a dip, okay, in February. It can be a little bit jarring in the head as well, because I'm being drawn to those knives on the either side of her head, and it just feels like it's kind of cutting in the side of the head, you know. It's just headaches as well. So as we move into March, we move into the Four of Cups, and this has a bit of a residue feeling from February. So in March, things actually do even out. They actually do become much better. You start to recognize your blessings. You're starting to recognize, okay, that's cool. I've got the things that I really, really need. But there is a lethargy, basically because you needed to really go through a healing in February. And if you didn't allow yourself enough time to do so, it might spill into March. And when I say go through a bit of healing, what I'm really saying is, are you able to allow yourself some time just to sleep, just to rest, maybe some time away by yourself where you can just hibernate and just process some of these things, okay? Because by the time you come to March, things have kind of plateaued. They're a bit more stable, a bit more kind of grounded, but there's still this residual energy of like, okay, well, I better not ask for too much because what I've got is enough. Now the Four of Cups basically says that you kind of, there's a complacency whereby you recognize, it's like you're grateful and appreciate everything that you've got, but you're not allowing yourself to ask for more. And the Four of Cups basically shows, and the traditional tarot, of a cup of love being offered by the universe, an opportunity, something to add to your wealth, where you don't no longer feel, well, this is all right, but it actually adds and creates more of a foundation in your emotional body, that kind of rooted feeling with that Five of Wands, right? And so it depends on how you treat February. If you're able to give yourself some time, some healing time, then come March, you will be more on the lookout for opportunities in your peripheral that can come in, because it is a new opportunity that's coming on in that's very exciting. But if you've not spent enough time giving to yourself in February, you may feel just a little bit kind of complacent in March, that even though things sort of settle a bit, you're a bit feeling unfulfilled and like, well, can't really wish for anything, so what's, you know, let me just make sure I'm happy with what I've got, you know. So it really depends on how well you treat the February, that will determine whether you take new love, take new experiences, take new excitement in March. And the choice is ultimately yours. Again, it basically is asking you to have faith in the future, and that perhaps you just went through a difficult couple of months, okay? And so you're starting to try and kind of move up the scales of your vibration and starting to look at the positivity around you. Now, this moves into April, and April, I feel like you've gathered a bit more stamina, you've gathered a bit more momentum and drive behind you, because in April you are working like a beast. You're mastering your craft, you're gathering lots of information, you're multitasking, you're working late into the night, and because it's an Eight of Pentacles, Eights talk about manifestation, Pentacles talk about the material world. Okay, so I see you are applying yourself, you've like decided no nonsense. Either you've taken that new opportunity and you're plowing that into the soil and you've prepared the soil and you're going to make it grow, right? Or you've decided, you know what, to hell with this, I'm going to seek higher learning, I'm going to take a course in this, I'm going to take a course in that, I'm going to make it all happen. This is where you really are gathering up your strength. And I know you're gathering up your strength because from April into May, we've got the Strength card. Okay, now May is like kind of Taurus season, so it's a complete polar opposite of your zodiac sign. But we've got Strength here, and Strength basically says you're going to be wowed by your own determination, by your own courage. Okay, you're being called to step into a newer version of you, where you are recognizing the areas in your life that are kind of need to be addressed for yourself. Okay, if you want to move forward. Strength card typically is about taming your inner beast, right? We all have that tame version of ourselves and that wild side about ourselves, okay? And sometimes the tameness of ourselves can be scary, because we don't want to live a boring life. We don't want to kind of be just a diluted version of ourselves. We want to be the fullest expression that we can be. Equally so, sometimes we can fear our wild side, that impulsive excitement, that like animalistic grab hold of it, make it happen energy. Sometimes that can frighten us because we feel like that doesn't have an element of control. It feels like it could go out of control, okay? And so I feel like you're looking at these energies around you in May. There's definitely going to be something where you need to stand up to those, to yourself in a way, and say, this is not on, this is not on, this is what I desire, this is what I need, and honoring that. So there's a lot of determination coming in. So whatever you're working on come March, April, you're pushing it forward to the next level. You're being bold and you're being brave, okay? And this is absolutely beautiful, because in June we've got the Four of Wands. So you are seeing the efforts of your labor, of your efforts, of your stamina, of your courage, okay? The Four of Wands talks about you have created a strong platform, a strong foundation. For some of you, perhaps you worked extra hours so that you could afford to go away on holiday and just do some traveling, or just have some time out. It sometimes can be the Four of Wands can also talk about the halfway to marriage card as well. But it's essentially where things are blossoming, coming to light, things are brighter for you. And it didn't happen by itself. You made it happen. And the only way you made it happen was by applying your strength accordingly. Okay, so there's a shift that's taking place within that. As we move into July, it's like you've got your foundation in place. You know your strength because you've figured that one out. Like, we all know our strength until we're pushed, right, again, and then we kind of go, oh wow, okay, I really can handle this. So that is an uplifting feeling, and then you've created a very strong platform for yourself. Maybe this is in work. Perhaps you've created a foundation or business plan for something you want to do in the future. Maybe it's you have a bit more of a work-life balance, because of the efforts you put in March, April, okay? But come July, you're now at that point of, I need to make a judgment call, okay? We've got the Judgment card turning up. And again, we have the owl over there, which is the seeker of wisdom. And we've got the dragonfly, that is also very prosperous and lucky, auspicious, trying to pave the way for the future. So as you meet July, you now have an opportunity to make the call for better than what you have now. You've established your foundation, you've had your breather, everything's a bit more kind of a good place. And now that you're in a kind of a bit more of a solid place, you are invited by the universe to decide whether you want to move forward or to keep experiencing what you've experienced before. Do you want to repeat history with other patterns, or do you want to take the road less traveled to meet on the other side because you know it's going to be good? In this card, it's like walking through a tunnel. It's the darkest before dawn, but you're actually walking towards the oasis, the desert, right? As in the deserted island, right? So it's beautiful, it's paradise, right? So you have something on the other side, which could be a very exciting, much better experience for yourself, but you need to make that call. You need to make that decision. Do I resurrect something from the old, right? Something, do I want the same as I've had before, or do I want to push myself even further and aspire for something even better? The choice is ultimately yours. Okay. As we move into August, we've got the Seven of Swords. We've got this kind of strategy energy, okay? There is, so this can sometimes typically talk about lying, cheating, stealing, can be a bit of a deceptive card. I'm not really feeling that, but you could of course be having that in your environment. There could be someone around you who's a little bit shady, not really forthcoming with their agenda, maybe masking their energy somewhat. But I only feel that to a small degree. What I'm really feeling for you, Scorpio, is that you, having made a judgment call, it feels to me like you're taking a very strategic approach in how to make that happen. You've made the call, you've decided, you know it's going to change your life forever, but it feels like you're not kind of opening up about it just yet. You are finding a very clear way to do something which will avoid harm, damage, pain as much as possible. So you're finding, you're looking for a very clever way of making this decision, this judgment call, placing that into reality, okay? And part of that may be needing to recognize that while you've made the decision, you need to rest, you need to put some things in place, you need to do some communications, you need to organize a few things, and before you can kind of really open up about your new decision moving forward, okay? Because it feels to me that whatever this judgment call is, it's going to have an impact on your close connections, or perhaps even your working environment, okay? So this could be anything by the way of, in July you decide, nah, I don't want to work there anymore, I want to do my own thing, but instead of doing it immediately, you spend another month kind of pulling in all your data, all your information to work out how logistically it's going to be. Or for example, if you are wanting to relocate, again, perhaps you've made that judgment call, but before you really come clean with anyone about it, you're doing your research, okay? So it's really kind of, it's attempting to do something that is going to be as damage-free as possible, okay? The softest approach possible. Now, as we move into September, we have the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords basically says it's a time for healing, okay? A time to stop and recalibrate. We have the Centaur in the background, which is Chiron, the wounded healer, okay? Which is telling me that you are protected and you have an opportunity just to sort of go within and just to take a breather, right? Because you've been through a lot. Now the whole year is transformational. It's not like one major thing, it's one big decision that needs to take place, but the whole year is shifting in this, okay? So you're experiencing again the healing chaos. This is, you've had the chaos, now this is a healing that's coming on in. And you are protected. I feel like you will have an opportunity. So perhaps now knowing about this in advance, perhaps now you can even book 2 weeks off in September in advance now, to make sure that you've got that time just to regroup within yourself, just to kind of take a breather from all of this. Because in all sorts of healings, it can feel, it's dirty work, you know, it's an emotional roller coaster ride, it's physically uncomfortable, all of the horrible stuff. That's what healing is. But we always need X amount of time, or the same amount of time afterwards, to just process it all, just to like kind of recalibrate and kind of regroup and go, whew, okay, what was that about? And just to snuggle up and go into your shell a bit. You know, you need to refuel your energies. So it feels like something in September is really going to call you to have a breather, take a break. It's important, okay? As we move into October, you're back on form again, but now you are stronger in a different way. Okay, this is my deck, right? So the Two of Pentacles is a gymnast. He is top of his field because he's got 2 medals there hanging in the tree. And he is on a balancing act, okay? He has built the muscle to endure, okay? he wouldn't be able to take on anything else in the moment because his hands are tied, right? But he has mastered his craft. And so part of that mastery has to do with handling your finances in the best possible way, right? Really doing your research on your investments. Another part of that mastery is knowing your threshold, knowing your personal inner strength. And of course, you've already seen another element of that in May. Another aspect of it is knowing where your breaking point is. Okay, so you've established all of these sorts of stuff, and as you set into October, you're taking things to the next level in a much, this is like pedigree level. It's not a reference to a dog, but a pedigree, it's more specialized level, and you are really kind of using all of your resources, all of your strength and determination, and you take it to the next level, right? As we move into November, this is where we start to get a little bit of the phew sigh, right? Because in November you see your efforts have paid off big time. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. So we have a brand new opportunity coming on in that is extremely fruitful, has got long-term permanence attached, is going to pay back what you put in, and is going to stand the test of time. So this new opportunity could be a new business decision, it could be a new romance, it could be a new home, because it's Pentacles, could like property related. This is brilliant, and you would not have been able to achieve that had you not gone through the healing chaos in the beginning of the year, had you not gone through your own internal decision of what is my calling, right? Had you not gone through the healing phases, stretched yourself, now it's like, it's almost as if you have to realize that you're deserving of so much more before it can come in, right? Because there may be a little bit of struggle, internal struggle with that through the course of the year. Brand new opportunity coming in, very, very exciting. As we move into December, you're like, I'm ready to go. Now, October, of course, is kind of like your birthday period as well, but that's where you really are stepping up, mastering your craft. So you're feeling the results of that in November, right? In December, you're raring to go. Now we've got the Knight of Wands. Very excitable energy, okay? Very kind of high vantage point, high perspective, looking down on the world and kind of going, I want a piece of that, I want a piece of that, I want a piece of that. And now you're getting excited, okay? So you're ending the year on a really high note, okay? But it starts off a bit tricky. So now that we move into your cross of truth, this tells me kind of where you're at throughout the course of the year, meaning you may be revisiting some of this throughout the year. Where you are at as a foundation is the Page of Swords. Okay, so this seems to me an ongoing theme of just when you think that you've got it sorted, bad news comes on in. So this is giving me the strong sensation, the strong impression that it's like you keep getting like bad news. And I'm not talking disaster news necessarily. I'm talking kind of like you go down one avenue to explore it and you get a little bit excited, but then something comes back and it's not going to work out. Or you go down this area, you get excited about that, but then that's not going to work out. You get messages that come through that everything that you were plowing into comes back and it's like, ugh. And I feel that the reason this is happening is because I feel like you're selling yourself short. Okay, it's a page. You're the empress or the emperor or the hierophant or the high priestess. You know, you're just top of the game. I feel like you're selling yourself short, and it's kind of the universe's way of reminding you of your worth, so that all these little things that you try and do, they're kind of stopping it before it goes anywhere, because it's not really good enough for you, right? So it feels to me like all of these just rubbish news that comes on in, or bad, like negative responses, or things that don't seem to be going your way, Delays, so many delays. You feel like you're coming somewhere and then another delay. Again, it feels to me like it's Spirit's way of saying, I think you're selling yourself short. Ask for something bigger, okay? And allow yourself just to kind of work with the timing of it. But I'm not so worried about the timing of it, because this is your whole approach throughout the year. We've got Temperance. Temperance is a lovingly healing card. It talks about patience. It talks about tempering your words and your actions. She is alchemizing water and fire together to create something beautiful. So she is the alchemist. So that is your desire throughout the year. You're working with the energies, and you understand that sometimes it takes time, okay? And you are willing to go through the distance. Now, there's certain delays that come on in, or a bit of bad news here, a bit of bad news there. Trust in it. It's just Spirit's way, or the universe's way of reminding you that you actually need to aim a little bit higher, because you're selling yourself short, okay? So work with the powers that be, work with the energy, work with the divine timing, okay? Because you may need a few reminders of that in order to achieve your King of Pentacles at the end. Now, what's working in your favor is the Five of Wands, okay? What this basically means, it's the same card as you start off in January, but this is now a very positive situation for you. You are acting on the people around you and your internal body. And what that is doing is creating a driving force for you throughout the year, okay? You feel a little bit unsettled within yourself, and you realize, got to sort this out, got to transform, got to fix this situation. You see maybe the people around you, either in the work environment, your soul tribe, your family, your friend circle, and again, there's disruptions over there. And you're sensing all of it. It's like you're sensing this undercurrent of temporary stuff. That it's like that feeling, like not the calm before the storm, but it's almost like it's like the ground is a bit shaky, and it's causing people to act a little bit strange, and you're picking up on all of it, and you're sensing all of it, and you're seeing it, and this is like kind of in a way, I mean, Scorpio, you're incredibly insightful and psychic, and you read energies very naturally. It just comes naturally to you. But it feels to me that that is working in your favor, so that you're like kind of ahead of the game. So you're sensing all of these shifting, moving plates around you, and you're kind of trying to sort it out before it erupts, or before something falls, okay? So this is actually a very positive quality. It's kind of your signpost throughout the year, and you may be feeling that a few times. Ooh, there's something a bit odd over there, I'm not so sure, I trust it, let me shift my energy here to avoid that area. Okay, this is happening right over there. Ooh, there's something going on here, let me address that, do some healing, right, move forward. So it's like a kind of a warrior year, right? It's just like you've concentrated a load of stuff from your past, shook, laser focus into 1 year, sort it out, sort it out, sort it out, sort it out. Whew. Now, the challenge for the year is the Lovers. Okay, the Lovers talks about passion, talks about choice. So you may be finding that you are returning to this energy of indecision many times throughout the year, or like you feel your back pushed up against a wall, that you have to make a decision, but you don't want to make a decision, but you have to make a decision, right? And you may be feeling that a few times throughout the course of the year. Also, this energy of like you are recognizing it many junctures throughout the year. I'm not passionate about that. This isn't my passion. This isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I want to do, right? But we need to experience all that to make sure what it is we don't want to do, so that we can know what it is we want to do. So again, treat these challenges as beautiful signposts, messages from Spirit to guide us back on track of where we want to go. And it's like you're shaving off here, shaving off there, and eventually it'll all come into clarity for you, particularly by the end of the year, right? Now, the outcome for the Cross of Truth is a King of Pentacles. My goodness, Scorpio, you deserve this, right? Whatever you choose to do throughout the year, it is all about the long term. We're talking security, safety, foundation, finance, home, structure, permanence, right? Leadership, which is also the King of Pentacles energy. So I do feel that by the end of the year, you are going to be feeling like, yeah, male or female, doesn't matter, right? King of Pentacles is someone who's got their SHIT together, and they can see where things are heading, and they're working with that. And remember, you've already had the foresight of what's coming up, so you're sensing it way before anyone else does, and you're kind of jumping the queue because you have intel in your spiritual body. Okay, now by the end of the year, I feel like that's definitely going to be feeling, you're going to be feeling really self-assured by the end of the year, and so grateful that you went through all of this carnage even throughout the year. But I feel like you're also going to be you're going to be visiting this energy of the King of Pentacles many points throughout the year. So the moment you go through a challenge of like, no, but that's not a passion, so I know I cannot commit to that long term, so cut that off. Okay, or you're sensing that something's coming in that's maybe affecting you know, the economy, right? And you're like, I'm sensing it's happening before it's even happening. I'm going to do this to protect my assets or my funds. That again reduces you to that kind of the King of Pentacles of knowing for the long haul what's happening. Okay, so you're going to be visiting this energy at many points throughout the year, and for it to be an overall energy as well, that's what the transformation is happening for you. There are great shifts that are happening within humanity throughout 2024, huge things that are going to cause a lot of people strain. Okay, but I feel like somehow you're ahead of the game. Okay, it's just you may be feeling it more intensely than others, which is what makes you ahead of the game. Okay, so it's a kind of, you know, double-edged sword really, but you've absolutely got this. So Scorpio, wow, we're going to get an oracle card for you to close off this reading. Some advice from Spirit. What does Scorpio need to know, please? No, it's too many cards, I won't do that. Just one card, please. What does Scorpio need to know for 2024? Two cards, right? Well, you got two to start off with, so yeah. Rite of passage, crossing the threshold, very similar to my card of the Judgment. Have a look at this. Always the darkest before dawn. So whenever you find yourself at that real kind of vulnerable stage, fragile energy, feeling weak of spirit, okay, know that actually you're the strongest you've ever been, okay, because this is the rite of passage. This is, you are on the right path. You're making it happen. It has to be, to graduate to the next level, it's gonna push you and stretch you even more. So know that when you feel the lowest of the low throughout the year, that's when you are actually your strongest and so close to the goals. Then we have this as well, Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So again, we're talking about the healing. Okay, the divine feminine energy of the Star Mother is asking you to look after yourself, asking you to give some time to yourself, take some time to heal old wounds. Okay, so this is a healing card, healing card, healing card, healing card. All of it's for your highest good. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Now, if you're interested, I've done a, I've loaded a channeling with Annika Sanja, who I channel, Seventh Density Collective, and they have a forecast as well for 2024. Very different vibe, excuse me, from this. If you're interested in that, it should pop up on the window of this video, and you can click on that if you are interested in some channeling. Of course, if you'd like a personal reading or personal channeling sessions, check out my website, loveitallmore.com. Information is in the description box below. And have a wonderful healing experience in 2024. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, any of that good stuff. It helps to grow my channel. And I'll see you on the other side. Take care.